let's take it real soon. You know we got what you need, baby, so take it, move along. I said we got what you need, honey, come and groove along. Come on. Rolling on the highway, ease up. Wow. Come on.
morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Jubilee Circle. Thank you so much for joining us here in the building, and thank you so much for joining us here live on the YouTube. And if you are in the building or watching online and you don't have a bulletin, we ran out this morning, which is a great problem to have. You can find our bulletin by going to jubileecircle.com, and there is a link right there on the front page that says download the bulletin. I think there's also a link in the description for our YouTube channel if you're watching on the YouTube out there. All right, so good morning, everybody. We ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me light, give me life, keep me free from birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. My Lord, please take hold of my hand, that I might understand you. Won't you please, oh, won't you give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me light, give me life, give me freedom, birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. My Lord, please take hold of my hand, that I might understand you. Won't you please, oh, won't you give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me light, give me life, keep me free from birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. Oh yeah, more cowbell. Oh, give her a second. We'll get more cowbell in there. All right, welcome everybody again to Jubilee Circle. We're so glad to have you with us this morning. And we are continuing our VIA Positiva theme. Oh, and happy holiday, happy Labor Day as we celebrate the workers out there. And I'm so glad to see unions starting to make a comeback. Very happy about that. Go Starbucks, people. We continuing our VIA Positiva theme of Oh, the Humanity. And in this VIA, we've been talking about our commonality as humans and that original blessing that we all possess within. The pandemic over the past couple of years, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it's made everybody sort of stop and reevaluate what's important to them. Nothing in our lives has been off limits. The world stopped for so long, and it made us rethink our jobs, our relationships, our homes, our friendships, even whether or not we want to attend spiritual communities on a Sunday morning or not. In all of our rethinking, we've made some changes. We've swapped jobs, we've swapped homes, we've ended relationships, started new ones. Many have even discovered how wonderful a lazy Sunday morning at home really can be. And more power to you, right? I wish I could do that.
Me too.
I don't ever have a Sunday morning when I go, you know, I'm just not going to go today. It just doesn't happen that way. But anyway, hazard of the job. But in this way, the pandemic has been clarifying for a lot of us. And no matter where we've landed on all these questions, perhaps It's all been for the better. What the pandemic invited us to do was to take a look at what it is that really matters to us, to reassess not just our personal lives, but even our life in society. Some changes have been for the better, but often we change. If we change just for the sake of change, sometimes we end up right where we started. Some recent surveys are actually showing that people who quit their jobs at the height of the pandemic or sold their houses or broke up with their partners are having some regrets. Do you want to know why? Because we tried to solve a problem we thought we had with the same level of consciousness with which we created this perceived problem. And this is how the ego keeps us on that hamster wheel of seek but do not find. If we want to find out what truly matters to us and make choices that truly satisfy us, we have to begin in a higher consciousness than when we made our first choice. And that's something called spiritual growth. When we make choices from the ego's level of separation, we're always going to find ourselves right back at the starting point of dissatisfaction. But the good news is we can choose again. But this time, when we make our choice, we do it only after we've gone deeper within ourselves and touched that place of love within, instead of that place of fear. Because if we're choosing any time, or choosing again from a place of love and unity, then whatever we decide matters most to us in this moment will be ultimately something that makes us all say, oh yeah. Please rise as you're able. And we begin every Jubilee circle in the same fashion. We remember the 4 elements, the air and the water and the earth and the fire, and we burn sage as a reminder that this is a time to set our intentions, a time to set our personal intentions for love and peace and growth, and a time to set an intention for the world, that the world may experience love and peace and growth just as we do. And we also orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the 4 directions. So I invite you to turn and face the east. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to make up some stuff here. I didn't copy everything I need. Hey, what does the East tell us? The East tells us that the sun rises, and as the sun rises every day, it gives us a chance to renew our dedication to love, our dedication to joy and to peace, because the sun rises all the time, being as it is, giving us life, giving us the light and joy and peace that we need in every day. Quarter turn to the right. We face the south. Teach us, Holy One, to ease our conflict with the natural world around us. Teach us how we can live in peace with Mother Earth and live in peace with each other. Teach us how to sow the seeds that grow peace right here at home and all around the world. Open our minds, Holy Ones, so that we may learn of your holy ways. Quarter turn to the right, we face the west. Guide us, Holy One, as we encounter conflict and strife in our lives. Give us the words we need to create peace within and create peace without. Give us the actions we need to model that peace in this world. Give us the wisdom we need to be your healers in this world of suffering and pain. Quarter turn to the right and we face the north. Help us, Holy One, to know the difference between healthy conflict and destructive criticism. Help us refrain from destroying others with our words or our thoughts or our actions. Help us to refrain from destroying our planet with our actions or our inaction. Help us, Holy One, to be good stewards toward one another and all creation. And as we turn back toward the center, you'll find a bunch of people who are in need of some true peace. So I invite you in this safe and sacred time and place, consider whether the peace you have in your life now is that real peace, or have you just made peace with the chaos? Because jubilance, the peace that passes all understanding, is ours for the taking when we realize that peace is now, that peace is found in the wholeness of life, in that place where justice and mercy kiss, because that is the place that makes us all say, oh yeah. All right, so remain standing. Glad to have Allison back, saging everybody up today. saging everybody up. Everybody needs some saging up this morning. All right. So this morning we're going to start with a hit from Allison is the sage. She is. She doesn't. The sage saging. All right. So again, if you want a bulletin, the lyrics and everything you need are in the bulletin. But if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, you know this song. So so here we go. 2, 3, 4. Loving you isn't the right thing to do. Greet everyone. How can I ever change things that I feel? If I could, maybe I'd give you my world. How can I when you won't take it from me? You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it love another day. You can go your own way, go your own way. Tell me why everything turned around. Packing up, shacking up is all you wanna do. If I could, maybe I'd give you my word. Open up, everything's waiting for you. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it love another day. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another day. You can go your own way, go One more time. Yeah. That song doesn't really have anything to do with what we're doing today. It was just fun. Huh? I wanted to do it. So, because Beth was like, what's that got to do? Nothing. I just wanted to play that song. Because that's how we do things here at Jubilee Circle, just for the fun of it. All right.
You went your own way.
We went our own way. We always do. So welcome to Jubilee Circle. We are an inclusive, progressive interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina, broadcasting around the world. And we teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that is found in all mainstream religions and metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and inspired secular and religious writers and teachers throughout the ages. We use popular music, as you've heard, teachings, weekly celebrations, educational and artistic events, workshops, other community building activities, because we're trying to create a space here for everyone to experience their own spiritual transformation so they can go out as transformed people and be that transformation in the world. And we believe we're here to expand our souls, to find deeper meaning in life, to renew our commitment to love and peace and justice, learn how to love wastefully and undergo a transformation from the inside out, to discover how to live in our higher divine self, at least most of the time. But we recognize too we're part of God's good creation. We're formed from stardust, but also from love and joy. But we humans, we forget this. We come out of our mamas and they slap us on the butt and we start to cry, and then we have all these grievances because we see the world is unfair and making us cry. And so we start to judge and we look at others and we go, oh, they're beautiful, they're ugly, they're good, they're bad, they're generous, they're stingy, they're loving, and those people are just
Recalcitrant.
recalcitrant. I can never remember that word. But let us remember our true function here. It is to continually return home to that peace of mind, that God that we have never truly left. While we're here, we are to be that open channel for love and embody that love and peace here in the world. So everybody gets to say, oh yeah. All right. So a few announcements as we move along. Coming up next Sunday, September the 11th, we're going to use some music from the Foo Fighters, and it's going to be interesting. The band's going to have some fun on that one. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to learn more about humanity's shame. So if you're having some shame issues, and I know nobody in here is having that problem, we're going to talk a little bit about that. You have no shame. I have a bunch of shameless people here at Jubilee. Going to teach you how to have some, Bob. We're going to teach you how to have some little humility over there. So this Friday, we're going to start our movie nights. So Friday night, come about 6:30, bring some snacks. So it's not like a regular type of potluck, but, bring some popcorn and some snacks, things you want to eat while we all sit around and watch a movie. We're going to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you have not seen this movie, it is my new favorite movie in the entire world. It is the most metaphysical, wonderful movie I have ever seen in my life, about this lady who is just trying to get her taxes done, and she keeps popping in and out of all of these different metaverses, all of these different, there's not just one timeline in the universe. There's all these other universes going on at the same time, and so she gets to visit herself in all of these different universes, and it's fabulous. So please join us for that. We're going to belly up to this big TV here and bring a drink of your choice or whatever you. Oh, popcorn will be provided. That's true. We've got Lee has a popcorn machine, so we'll have popcorn. What is that noise? Oh, Cece is. Oh, it's Cece drinking. I'm sure tag is hitting the metal bowl, and I'm like, somebody started the bowl early. I tell you. And we could have a sleepover on Friday, because then Saturday at 9, we're going to do my Awakened Spiritual workshop again, the Sixfold Path to Enlightenment. If you're feeling sort of stuck on your path, I've got a roadmap, six easy steps. They're not easy, but 6 steps to enlightenment. So if you want to come and learn about that, this also is a hybrid event. So there is a link in your bulletin to register to join us by Zoom. So if you don't want to come into the space, or if you are from out of town, you can join us for the workshop from 9 until 1 on Saturday, September 10th. Snacks will be provided for those in person. Those joining us by Zoom, bring your own snacks and your own coffee. All right. So Friday, September 16th at 7 o'clock, the Columbia Operatic Laboratory is coming back for another show, The Pirates of Penzance. It's going to be a sing-along, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets are $15 at the door, $5 for kids. It's a fundraiser for them, and we'll have concessions for donation here, so we make a little money too. And then that Saturday, September 17th, Tamara is hosting the Poetry Tales at Sesquicentennial Park to read some poems, bring a guitar, an instrument, something to share if you want to go hang out in the woods and read poetry. And our own Danny Sciortino is giving away a guitar, so you're entering a poem and you can win a guitar. So it's going to be a great Saturday to go out in nature. As always, we have Soundy School at 10:30 in the morning on Sundays, and our Course in Miracles discussion group is now meeting on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Lee McEachern leads that, and it's really informal and a lot of fun, and we just read a little bit from the course and talk about it. Very low pressure if you're interested in learning more about the course. Just to mention, tomorrow night, I believe it starts at 7, at the Quakers Friends Meeting House off of Farrow Road. I'm singing my songs. I am one of the performers at Al Black's thing that he puts on every month at the Quaker Meeting House. So I'll be singing my original songs. It's tomorrow night, yeah. Or yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday night. Sorry, Tuesday night. So Tuesday night at 7 at the Quaker Meeting House off of Farrow. I don't know what the name of that is. It's Pisgah Church Road. I believe it's on Pisgah Church Road, off of Farrow. So join us for that. There'll be a poet there who, I'm sorry, I don't know who their name is, but there'll also be a poet and me, there you go. Anything else?
Can I say one thing?
Sure thing.
For anybody with kids or who is a kid at heart, the Columbia Marionette Theater is now showing Winnie the Pooh.
Ooh.
And Saturdays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. are the show dates. And Marionette Monday, which is the third Monday of the month. And that's at 10 o'clock. You and your kids get to make a puppet out of paper and straws. And it's a lot of fun. And I know the cast and crew have put a lot of effort into it. And marionettes is for everybody, in my opinion. So come on down.
All right, straws. Did you say straws?
I'm a jizzy girl that you could get jizzy.
It came through a little bit. Straws.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Dog,
Straw.
That's a car, park a car, you know.
It's that New Jersey accent.
It's that Jersey. You can take a girl out of Jersey.
Or,
Any-
what do you say?
Straws. Straws.
Straw.
We say straws.
There you go.
Like draws, right? Like put your draws on.
Alrighty.
All right. Hear these wise and holy words.
Drum circle today at 4 at
Oh.
the 5 Points.
Oh,
Yeah.
Drum circle today at 4 at the 5 Points Fountain. Get outside and get your vitamin D. All right.
From A Course in Miracles, Chapter 2. You believe in what you value. If you are afraid, you are valuing wrongly. Your understanding will then inevitably value wrongly, and by endowing all thoughts with equal power will inevitably destroy peace. That is why the Bible speaks of the peace of God which passeth understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by errors of any kind. It denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you. This is the proper use of denial. It is not used to hide anything, but to correct error. It brings all error into the light, and since error and darkness are the same, it corrects error automatically. True denial is a powerful protective device. You can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. This kind of denial is not a concealment, but a correction. Your right mind depends on it. Denial of error is a strong defense of truth, but denial of truth results in miscreation, the projections of the ego. In the service of the right mind, the denial of error frees the mind and reestablishes the freedom of the will. When the will is really free, it cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth. From the Sufi mystic poet Rumi, gamble everything for love if you're a true human being. If not, leave this gathering. Half-heartedness doesn't reach into majesty. You set out to find God, but then you keep stopping for long periods at mean-spirited roadhouses. From Paul Selig's channeled book, The Book of Knowing and Worth. The day you no longer act upon an old fear, the day you realize your neighbor is your love and not your enemy, the day you decide that the only thing that hampers you on the road before you is the illusion of separation, you create a new way of being yourself as love.
These are wise and holy words. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. All right. Our song this morning comes from singer and songwriter Ben Lee. This song is called Gamble Everything for Love, and it comes from his 2015 release, Awake is the New Sleep. I like the name of that album. That sounds great. All right. Gamble everything for love, gamble everything, put it in a place, you keep what you need. If you gamble everything for love, if you're free, gotta gamble everything for love. Baby, are you cold, baby, I can wrap you up in my love. If you wanna, you can gamble everything for love. If you wanna, you can gamble everything for love. Tell me, are you feeling lost? Have you crossed into places that you never knew to get through? Tell me, are you gonna cry all night? Tell me the truth and I'll tell you the truth. If you gamble everything for love, you're gonna be alright. A survey last year asked just over 2,400 adults, what makes life fulfilling? Interestingly, at the bottom of the list, what 69% thought was important but not essential was having a lot of money. 68% said the same thing about earning a lot of money. It's important, but it's not essential. Also of note was that 49% believed being married was essential, and the majority of those saying it was essential, oddly enough, were men, not women. With 51% saying even a romantic relationship wasn't essential for a fulfilled life. And 47% took kids right out of that essential category. So what do you think then were the top two things that most people thought were essential to having a fulfilled life? Any guesses? Sex? Nope. Actually wasn't even on the list. Anyone else? Dogs. I would put dogs on there, sure. But no. Yeah.
Peace of mind,
Interestingly, 56% said, this is number two, having a job or career you enjoy. That's essential for a fulfilled life for 56%. 58%, the number one thing for having an essential, that is essential to having a fulfilled life, having good friends. These results, they're really heartening to me because it shows that even amid all the egoic clatter out here in the world about wealth and fame and power and influence being the only markers of success and having a good life, the majority of us understand that what is truly essential for having a fulfilled and good life is purpose and connection. When we have friends, we feel connected to one another and the world. When we have a good job, a vocation that we enjoy, we feel a sense of purpose in our lives. We feel like we're making a contribution to something that's larger than ourselves. So this search for more meaning and purpose in our life's work, it's obviously something the pandemic helped us rediscover as a central value, since millions of people have left their jobs, taken part in the Great Resignation, as they've called it. A Pew Research poll showed last year that the majority of those who quit their jobs did so because of low pay, no chance for promotion, disrespect from their bosses, and not enough flexibility in their jobs. Indeed, all of that can add up to a lack of purpose and joy in what we're doing. So they left, trying to find a job that could give them that. Where we stumble, though, is often that our aspirations tend to outrun our motivations. especially in this top criteria for a fulfilled life of having good friends. Because another study showed that it takes, how long does it take to make a friend? How long does it take? Really? 3 months. 5 years? According to this study, it takes nearly 60 hours together for someone to move from an acquaintance to a casual friend. Nearly 100 hours of togetherness for them to become a friend, and more than 200 hours before they can graduate into the best friend category. But the problem is, we're spending less and less time with the people we want to call friends. We spend a lot of time with our coworkers, we spend a lot of time with partners if we have one, but we only spend about 30 minutes a day or so with our so-called friends. And that's not much, considering many of us say that we find that kind of a connection key to a fulfilling life. If indeed most of us recognize that connection with others is essential for a fulfilled life, what is it, jubilants, that blocks us from actually moving toward what we say is most important to us? I think A Course in Miracles has a clue. You believe in what you value, it says. If you are afraid, you are valuing wrongly. Your understanding will then inevitably value wrongly, and by endowing all thoughts with equal power, will inevitably destroy peace. We long for connection, yeah, but I believe it is that fear that holds us back. Because often we just ride on the surface of connection. You know, you hang out with people, but you never quite dedicate the hours needed to move from acquaintance to casual friend to best friend. And the ego makes you afraid to be vulnerable, to really open ourselves up to others, even if those people are friendly, even if they are kind and they fit all of our criteria for a friend. You know, they have sort of the same political values or religious values, or they come from a similar class or other background similarities. Even though we desperately want to connect on that heart-to-heart level with others, our egoic fear keeps us holding back. Because we think that if others knew what we believe is the truth about us, that we're imperfect or weak or stupid or not worthy of love, then they'd reject us. But here's the truth. We all believe this. We all believe we're not worthy of that deeper connection because we've all been hoodwinked by the ego that convinces us we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, and nobody likes us anyway. It's a lie, of course, but because we're so steeped in that egoic belief of separation, we fully believe that our perceived shortcomings make up the essence of who we truly are. And so we have valued wrongly. We make our insecurities what we value more than the connection we need with others. That's why we have no peace, because we still ultimately believe in our separation. Or as the Sufi mystic poet Rumi puts it, we keep stopping for long periods at mean-spirited roadhouses. This is where we go when we allow our insecurities and our anxieties and grievances to keep us feeling separate and alone. So what's the cure, jubilants? It's easy. Gamble everything for love. Breathe deeply. Make a list of things you need, leave it empty, except for number one, right love. Gamble everything, keep it under lock and key if you want. You can gamble everything for love. Love me with an open heart, tell me anything. everything for love. That's what Ben Lee sings. He's echoing that ancient wisdom from Rumi. Gamble everything for love if you're a true human being. If not, leave this gathering. Half-heartedness does not reach into majesty. You set out to find God, but then you keep stopping for long periods at mean-spirited roadhouses. I would submit, Jubilants, that individually and collectively, especially here in the U.S., we're not just visiting mean-spirited roadhouses. We've moved in. We are calling them our homes right now. We've become so divided in the U.S., especially over politics, it's become clear that what we value most is this idea of separation. Most folks say that connection to friends is what makes life fulfilling, but a YouGov poll found a couple of years ago that a quarter of Democrats say they are not friends with those on the opposite end of the political spectrum. And about 12% of Republicans said the same thing. About 20% of independents also say they shun friendship with those with whom they disagree politically. So we know connection to friends is what makes a life fulfilling, but we don't spend enough time with others to really forge that strong bond. And if they have a different political view than we do, well, you can forget spending time with them at all. And we wonder why we feel so disconnected all the time. Where do we start? Where do we start, Jubilants, to heal this divide and end our belief in separation? Where do we start? You want to know? We begin with denial. Yes, it's not just a river in Egypt. It's the key to enlightenment and ultimate holy and eternal connection. A course tells us there is such a thing as positive denial, and it's how we reach what the Bible calls the peace that passeth all understanding, or the peace, either way, the peace. Even peace or peace, whichever. This peace, of course, says, is totally incapable of being shaken by errors of any kind. It denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you. This, the Course says, is a proper use of denial. It is not used to hide anything, but to correct error. It brings all error into the light, and since error and darkness are the same, it corrects error automatically. This kind of proper denial denies the ability of anything of God, not of God, to affect you. Do you know what is not of God? Separation, anxiety, fear, grievance, political opinions. Everything we think that keeps us separate from one another is not of God. It is of the ego. And when we can see that, then we can begin to understand what really matters in this life. It is connection. It is the denial of the reality of separation. So what is true? Love, peace, joy, compassion, connection, unity. Jubilance, these are the things of God. And if we dedicate our lives to practicing them, to acting in these ways in the world and denying separation, and remembering that we are all one, unified in the mind of God, then we are living into what truly matters. We only appear to be separated, Jubilants, but when we put our faith in that appearance of separation, we miscreate. We create governments that work for some but not for others. We create education systems that privilege some and disadvantage others. We create monetary systems that drive wealth upward and leave vast swaths of people in poverty. We create healthcare systems that cater to the wealthy but bankrupt most folks who just happen to get sick. We create class systems of haves and have-nots and destroy ways for those with less to gain more. We create religions that would rather condemn large numbers of people to a literal hell then open our hearts to a God of unconditional love. You want to change the world? Deny the power of all of that. It is not of God. We must believe that even our smallest acts of becoming and extending holy love into this world can overcome even the most egregious corporate miscreations that we can concoct together in our egos. This kind of denial, the Course says, is not a concealment, but a correction. Your right mind depends on it. In the service of the right mind, the denial of error frees the mind and reestablishes the freedom of the will. When the will is really free, it cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth. Our right minds, jubilants, depends on us denying anything that we feel separates us from others, from ourselves, from God. When we can reestablish that connection to our higher divine self, we can't miscreate. Because in that state, in that higher vibrational state, all we can produce is love and peace and joy. We produce it within ourselves, and then it radiates and extends into the world. So how can we stay in our right mind and deny the existence of the seemingly solid separation that we see and feel in the world? Well, awareness is the key. Buddhist teacher Tara Brach says her number one tool to stay in that right mind of love instead of fear is to do a thought inventory during the day. She just stops and will take stock of where her mind has been during the course of the day. Do we really know? It goes wandering. Yeah, we're not keeping an eye on it. It wanders into all sorts of places. So I invite you to start doing this kind of practice. Set an alarm on your phone, maybe for around lunchtime, and then maybe early evening, and then right before you go to bed. Take an inventory. Where has your mind been? Have you been ruminating on grievances? Have you been thinking about how something could go wrong in a certain situation? Have you been thinking thoughts of anxiety, fear, sadness? See where your mind has been. Also, note your thoughts of joy. Note those moments of love and peace and compassion that arose in the day. Note those moments of awe, of laughter. Note those moments when you felt connected, even if it was to a friend or a loved one, a coworker, a kind stranger, your four-legged beloveds, even a beautiful sunrise or a sunset. Write it all down. Where has your mind been? Tally them up. See which side of the scale you're spending your time on. Are most of them creative? Are they fostering a sense of connection with yourself, with others, with God, or are most of them being miscreative? Are you generating more feelings of fear and hatred, anxiety, grievance in the world? Because as you become more aware of where your thoughts are, where they've been, and how they're either creating love or miscreating fear during the day, you will get better at spotting and denying your miscreating thoughts more quickly. If you take up the practice regularly, watching your thoughts, denying those that cause separation, eventually you're going to find more friends show up in your life. Maybe even friends with whom you do not see eye to eye on every situation or issue, but you find yourself seeing them more deeply, recognizing that what really matters is our soul-level connection, not our voting habits. And if we really, really, really get good at this, jubilance, eventually you'll find that the ego's fear of inadequacy and vulnerability will loosen its grip on you. And you'll be able to find that deep soul-level connection with everything and everyone who crosses your path during the day. This jubilance is the true key. What matters most? What matters most in any moment is this moment. It is whatever and whoever is before you right now. The positive denial of separation enables us to put aside the past with all its fraught emotions and opinions and division, as well as put aside whatever thought we have of what might be coming in the future. When we're really present with the person, place, or thing that is in front of us. And we clearly see the beloved child of God that stands before us every moment. We understand what matters. That connection. That denial of separation. What matters most is love. What matters most is your spiritual path and every moment that comes before you while you are on it. So I invite you, jubilants, live life from that place of love. Deny everything that is not love. Deny anything that doesn't feed your connection to the holy and to others around you. Embrace only what expands your spirit. If this can become our practice, then as Paul Selig writes, our entire lives will transform. He writes, the day you no longer act upon an old fear, the day you realize your neighbor is your love and not your enemy, the day that you decide that the only thing that hampers you on the road before you is the illusion of separation, you create a new way of being yourself, your true self, as love. That jubilance is the payoff if we are willing to gamble everything for love. Oh, yeah. I invite you during this prayer time I would like you to close your eyes, relax, find a good, try to find a good, comfortable place in those chairs. You at home, you might have the advantage. You've got a nice place to relax. And I don't want you to think too deeply about this. I want whatever comes to mind first. When I ask you the question, what matters most to you? What matters most? There's no judgment, just whatever comes up for you. It could be connection. It could be your job. It could be your partner. It could be your house. Heck, it could be your car. I don't care. What matters most to you? What is it that when you think about it, your soul expands? You get that feeling on the inside of just this expansiveness. Because when you think about the things that don't matter to you, you can feel it in your body. You contract. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh. So I invite you in this time to meditate on what matters to you. What is it that when it comes to mind, your soul goes, oh yeah, and just opens? Because jubilance, if that's all you ever meditate on, those things that open you, wide open like that, and you keep meditating on that, That's what you'll embody. That's what you'll be in the world. And we need more expanded people in this world. We need people walking around with their hearts wide open so that whoever they encounter, they don't see the political differences. They don't see race or class differences. They don't see any of that. All they see are holy children of God walking around. And the only thing that we feel for them is love and appreciation. So I invite you in this moment, expand yourself. Step into that expansion. Think on those things that make your spirit joyful. Breathe deeply. One of the things that always makes me contract is asking for money. It's just how it always is. I'm one of those people that is like, oh, but they don't want. But you know what? I'm going to step into my deservingness, my worthiness. Because Jubilee Circle is worthy of your support. You know why it's worthy of your support? Because you're all worthy. You're all worthy of supporting the things that you love. You're all worthy of expansion. And when we come together in a community like this, we help each other. We give each other tools. We support one another. We become that place where we can spend those hours together to foster a real connection, to become friends, to become best friends, to become the people who we go to when we need support, when we need someone who we know will understand. And that's the power of community. That's the power of any community. But this community, of course, has bills like every other community does, and so we must pay those. And so we are grateful for those who have helped us in the past. We are grateful for those who will help us in the future. We are grateful for those helping right now, because when we come into the world with a grateful heart, we always have what we need. And Jubilee, I tell you what, we've been here 12 years, and there are moments when I have believed that we have been on our deathbed and closed up the doors, and something always comes through. And so I'm always faithful that Spirit is still leading us, and Spirit still wants us here. So here we are. And we are here because of you, because you have given support, because this is a community that matters to you. And so thank you again. If you want to give online, on your lyric sheet, there is actually some QR codes you can use if you want to donate electronically through PayPal or Venmo. And if you are watching out there and have downloaded a bulletin, you would have the same thing on your bulletin. You can use the QR codes, or you can go to jubileecircle.com. There's a little donate button there. You can do Venmo and PayPal. Or if you like to write old-fashioned checks, and some of us do, you can write that down and put it in the mail with a stamp and everything and send it to Post Office Box 4611, Columbia, South Carolina 29240. So thank you all for your ongoing support and your continuing support of Jubilee Circle. We are very grateful. All right, so we are going to say goodbye to the folks. Oh, go ahead and pass that around. We are going to say goodbye to the folks who are watching us out there in YouTube land, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Thank you, and we hope you will join us again next week. And until then, remember, as Meister Eckhart tells us, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. Because when we are acting from gratitude, we have no room for grievance or anxiety or worry or anything. So I invite you to go this week in gratitude and join us again next week. Oh, yeah.